Okay, just a couple other tips and tricks with regards to the lab rules assignment and any work that you do in Microsoft Word. Whenever you insert a picture, so if I insert picture from this device, I'm going to insert this no running, no background photo. It comes in here and I generally cannot move it around very well at all. I can make it bigger and smaller, but it is basically glued wherever it first comes in. And the reason being is because the text wrapping is set to inline with text. So the only way that it's going to move down is if I had like gone in here and like physically typed words. If you notice, it's moving along as I'm typing, and it continues to move down the page depending on what's going on. Okay, is that helpful in some situations? Sure, because now it like stays where it's supposed to be, but that's not very helpful when it comes to flexibility of the graphic. So the way to fix that is to go select the graphic, click in the layout options, and then select either in front of the text. So now it can go in front, or I can select other wrapping things. So maybe I want the text to kind of wrap around it. And now, as you notice, the more I adjust it, the text will flow around the graphic naturally. Right? So this is a very powerful tool when you're doing layout in the sense of like wanting, say, a chart, and then you've got a description of the chart. Having the text wrap around it automatically means that as you resize the chart, it's going to automatically readjust the font, or excuse me, not the font, but the text to fit on the page. So something to think about as you're going out through your design work with regards to that. In terms of saving these projects when you're finished, one of the things that we're going to run up against is that anything you save in Microsoft Word does not play nice with Google Drive. It will try and dump itself into a Google Doc, and then you'll end up with weird formatting and a whole bunch of different stuff going on. So when you're ready to save these, obviously while you're working on them, you simply just save them as a .doc, okay, a docx. And that is the standard Microsoft Word format. It's editable, all that kind of stuff. When you're finished, you're all done. You want to do a file save as. Couple ways. There is this save as Adobe PDF if you have Adobe loaded in. I prefer to go into the options here, into the more options, and do it this way. When I'm going to save it to my folder, I go to this drop down and then I select PDF. So once I've selected PDF, there's a few other options. You're just going to use the standard one for publishing. This says for online and printing. It's the standard set of options. We don't need to change anything with regards to that. Make sure that your assignment 1 rules poster is still the title. And then when you hit save, this will now save as a PDF. Now I've got my settings set to automatically open up any PDFs that I save. So this opened up my Adobe Premiere, or excuse me, my Adobe Acrobat, and I can verify that it's a PDF and it has the same format as my original Word document. Once I have this PDF, I can now go to my Google Classroom and I could insert, or excuse me, upload/attach this PDF file into my Google Classroom. And that way, when I'm marking it as a teacher, I end up with a really nice graphic representation of what you intended for it to look like. If you upload the docx file, it will try to convert it to a Google Docs, and the formatting will be totally destroyed. You need to save it as a PDF in order to keep the formatting the same as what you want. So just some tips for exporting this project. Hope that helps. Have a good one.